They can't sell him now.
Yeah, so we're talking about potentially 7 or 8 players there. Are we going to bring in 7 or 8? No, we don't need to bring in 7 or 8. We might need to bring in 4 or 5 though in the next window, as well as bringing somebody in this window. So it might be that there might be 4, 5, or 6 players that we're looking at getting in the next couple of windows, which is what I think we need to do, bro.
I think you're bang on the money, but like, because you said it there, yeah, like, humor me. Does that mean we have to do another rebuild? And if we do have to do another rebuild, like this project, I would say Project Rebuild initially worked, but Project winning the league title, we haven't gone over the line clearly. Like, I agree with you. I think there's several players we need to look at bringing in, contract renewals, and possibly selling. But are we back to square one essentially then? Where we have a couple of good players, but we still need to get a couple of other pieces, and then the cycle kind of continues.
The reason I say we can't be back to phase 1 is because we know what our best 11 is, and I still think it's 3 players short, not 8 players short. If we were 8 players short, then it would be, oh my God, we've got to
Striker,
rebuild.
winger, 8, innit?
100. We all know what it is, right? Striker, winger, and 8, and then we're in a good position. Excuse me, I do believe that. And I feel like that 8 needs to be that wow 8, not Mikel Merino level. That winger needs to be levels of Martinelli and Trossard, and the striker needs to be killer. Yeah, I'm talking like Isak, Kvaratskhelia. I know he's now gone, so it have to be like Williams or one of them guy, Lookman, and then like an 8 in the region of like a Bruno Guimaraes type 8.
Proper curtain raisers, man.
Somebody like that. Or what you do is you get a Florian Wirtz and you move Erdegaard to the 8 and put Florian Wirtz in the 10, or Musiala, whoever you want in that 10. So there's all ways we can do it, right? But it's the squad that I think we need to look at now. Because
only got 13 players, really. And big up Lewis Skelly and Ethan. They brought themselves into it now, but we ain't got a squad.
Yeah,
really.
I think that's what it is. And people maybe laugh when they say we give ourselves 5 years and then we get our 25-man squad and we go. In that 25-man squad, you're going to have some misses. You're not going to all have hits. And we have had some misses. Look at Marquinhos, look at Pablo Mari and Cedric and Lokonga and Tavares and Runnison.
PTSD, mate.
Look at these guys, man. Fabio Vieira, all of these guys that we brought in that we now need to be getting rid of. You have to go and get replacements for them. So, look, Ethan and Miles are definite 2 positives to come through that have been added for players we didn't have to sign. There's a lot of talk and hype about Max Dowman being the next one coming through as well, which I hope to see happen because he looks an absolute baller too. So some of those academy players definitely deserve the chance. The problem I've got is when you're bringing through academy players, you need to sprinkle them around the talent,
with some quality,
make them the talent, you know. And I think that's the problem that we've got at the moment is we've got Zinchenko, Kivior, Tomiyasu, Timber, Tierney, Calafiori, and Lewis Skelly that can all play left back. That's 7 players. There's only really Lewis Skelly at the moment that's outperforming because Tierney's not getting a chance. Zinchenko's done. Calafiori's
Tomiyasu, we can't see him.
Tomiyasu can't stay fit. So I'm looking at that thinking, wow, that leaves really only Miles Lewis Skelly at the moment that has got a long-term future at the club. That is good enough. Now, I'm not saying
Calafiori by default because of the deal.
Yeah, because we got to give him more time and he's had injuries, right? So there is definitely, we're definitely not in a position. I don't like it when people say we just need a couple of players. I think if we get a couple of players, we'll find ourselves in the top 4 again. That's what will happen.
We need a couple of players for the 11, and we, like you've been saying, we need a bigger squad. Like I always say to Arsenal fans, yeah, obviously everybody's got a selling price, and there's definitely a lot to do. I think Gabriel, Saliba, and Saka, they've got 2 years left on their deals. We need to buck up our ideas and get a sporting director because we actually have a lot to do. But like, obviously, everyone's got a price tag in it. Like, there's no player in theory that is unsellable. But at a push, if we were to define that, I think everyone would agree: Saliba, Saka, probably Gabriel. I would say Timber. I'd say Benjamin White. I'd obviously say Ethan and Lewis Skelly. Beyond that, is Declan Rice as well. Is subject to debate. Like, some people would get rid of Odegaard. I wouldn't necessarily do that. As you said, with Moreno and Partey and Jorginho, it's a bit techie up front. If your name's not Bukayo Saka, for me, everything's up for debate. By default, Gabriel Jesus with that ACL are in issues. Do you think Havertz is a problem for Arsenal? And what I mean by that is I know certain people look at us, but you mentioned it, and I agree. If we look at our starting 11, give or take, you want an 8, you want a striker. 2 positions Kai Havertz plays in, right? Now, he could be part of the squad. But as you said, he's on big money and things like that. So have we created an issue in that, even if we upgrade? Because it's something still going to have to happen with Kai.
Yeah, he's created a problem. He has created a problem. Whether he likes that problem or not is a different debate. I don't like the problem because I wouldn't have signed Kai Havertz. Even as an attacking midfielder, I wouldn't have signed him at the time when we got him in. He was supposed to be that. And I think he knows that he's caused a problem because he's trying to find a solution for a problem he didn't have to cause. He's brought in a player that he didn't quite have a position for. He thought he had him in the 8, didn't work. Thought he had him in the 10, didn't work. has been playing him right wing at times this season, which ain't worked.
Don't
And
remind me, man.
as the 9, he is literally a 9, or he goes out. Now, he could play just off the striker in a 4-4-2, but we don't play 4-4-2, TG. So we have to look at what we're playing right now with him, and you have to say that it hasn't worked. Now, he's definitely contributed. He's been a part of a squad. He could definitely remain to be a part of a squad, but he can't be the starter every time. And I think that's the problem that Mikel Arteta has got now.
And it's not fair on Kai, man, really, if I'm honest.
I don't blame Kai. And a lot of people blame Kai, and they think it's his fault and it's not good enough and all this, but he's not the guy who picked him to come play at Arsenal in 3 different positions.
We're relying on Kai Havertz to score goals. That's our issue. And Kai's been a lot more consistent than a lot of our players. We're in problems if this is the case.
And I don't think it's been a woeful signing. Like, people think it's been a flop and it's been horrendous. It's not been a flop, right? He's had a lot of money and we paid a lot of money for what we're now delivering. However, he's not been a flop. It's not like we spent £100 million like a Jack Grealish and he's still waiting to score his first goal.
Second half of the season, he was doing his thing for us.
Back end of the season, he was great. Let's hope that's happening the same for this season. All I will say is, I honestly believe he would not be a flop and he would be so much better if we're bringing him on from the bench. Now, we might not like that every game, and we don't have to do it every game, but we get that one striker in, yeah? Let's say we get the dream striker, whoever that is for you. For me, it'd be Gyökeres.
Yeah.
Whoever that is, you get one of them guys in, you put them up top, and you think, bloody hell, we got Kai on the bench. We can bring him on now with a different dimension, give us something in the air, make a nuisance of himself, cause absolute chaos and havoc. That's 25 minutes right there where he can come on and change the game. That's the sort of position I see with Havertz. I don't see his role in the team as a starter and an absolute number 9 that has to be there. So there's options, man. We've got to bring him in. We've got to upgrade on it. I'm going into every game at the moment thinking, who's going to score? I'm not going to be putting any money on the front line.
The defenders, man.
Yeah, Gabriel. And I got more chance of Declan Rice scoring at the moment, you know? So it's a madness. It really is, bro.
We're moving mad, and at the end of the day, yeah, I do like a lot of what Arteta's done. I do have a lot of criticisms, but at the end of the day, the hardest thing to do in football, as we all know, is to score goals. And I do think Mikel Arteta has overcomplicated that. Kind of on brand with what you're saying. For me, you're getting players that are anything but clinical and expecting them to get us over the line. And even with I don't think in isolation, Trossard is a bad player. Kai Havertz is a bad player. I know Sterling's not the Sterling he was, but I don't think he's a bad player. But you look at the group, yeah, you can say they're experienced, they've won stuff, they've done this and that, but what we're seeing at Arsenal, for me, with Mikel Arteta, doesn't make sense. You're bringing blunt knives to a gunfight, which is the Premier League. You look at City, who are not doing anything. They've got Haaland. Obviously, Liverpool got Salah, and they've got other players that chip in. There's players in our team, Dan, and I'm sure you'd agree in that 5-10 games across the course of a season at different periods, like last year, they're going to score. But apart from Saka, there's no cold-hearted killer. That's where I think Arteta has made it difficult. If you could, yeah, obviously we'd love a striker or a winger or both, really. If it came to it in January, like where we are now, would you go for a striker or a winger? Like, if you got that guy that's doing even 50% of what Saka's doing, and you've got whatever striker, obviously it could be Isaac or whatever, do you go for the winger or the striker?
So the reason it has to be a striker now is because of the injuries that we've got. So people will say Saka's out. We've got Nwaneri coming back soon, hopefully, and we also got Sterling, Trossard, Martinelli. We've got some wingers, right? If I'm honest, I think we can look to utilize some of the youngsters that are coming through to play out there if we're really desperate. Yeah, up front, we got Havertz.
They're on the bench, might as well.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got Havertz and Havertz only. Trossard can play in the false 9, and I quite like him there, if I'm honest. But that really is like last resort. So I think it has to be a striker. And I would like it to be someone who's a different style and profile to Kai Havertz. And people might look at some of the links and think, well, they're all like Havertz. I don't think they are, if I'm honest. I think all 3 of them actually are a bit different to Kai Havertz from what I've seen. Like, you've got Sesko, you've got Vlahovic, and you've obviously got Gyökeres, are the 3 that I'm talking about. And I think that they all bring something different. I think they actually are all quite different, to be fair. The one that I obviously want is Viktor Gyökeres out of the 3, because I think he offers everything, bro. The ball carrying's there, the link-up play's there, the aerial ability's there. I think he can use both.
Right, in the goals he scores as well, man. It's different kind of goals as well.
Goals, man. All sorts of goals. And I love that. Free kick on I want to be seeing. We've seen him cause an absolute nuisance to a couple of our sort of players when we played him, and Manchester City destroyed. So there's definitely kind of, you know, England. He's got a little bit of experience in England, and people might laugh when it's the Championship, but
still experience, man.
It's bloody competitive, and it's rough, and it's tough, and you've got to be hard nut to play in that division. Trust me. Then you go into the Portuguese league and you deliver, and then you're doing it for your club and country, and then you're doing it in the Champions League. Like, what has he not done? I don't really know why people wouldn't want to be taking a punt on him.